5 resilient hacks and how you can deal with strokes of fate, struggles, and challenges and come back stronger. Life isn't easy. Life can be hard. Life can hit hard. And although, for example, my life looks nice and successful from the outside, it wasn't. And no life is just brilliant, happy, and successful. Fate will hit in hard one day. In my case, for example, I lost my leg when I was 19. I had a bad motorbike accident. I almost died, but the visible result is my amputated left leg. I lost my father at a young age. I built my single clinic to $1 billion company and almost lost it all again. So let's start with my basic resilience hack. The probability of being born as a human being is 1 to 400 trillion. Now imagine you are born as 1 to 400 trillion, plus being born in a developed country, plus having a roof over your head, enough food, plus being healthy and having a healthy body and mind, plus living in a country without war, plus maybe having on top a great education and multiple career chances, plus living in a time where we have all these internet and options we have. That's incredibly rare. It's even not measurable. So that makes me happy, being one of the very, very few lucky ones who have been born, are almost healthy, have a rooftop, have enough food, have education, and can make my career. And I'm grateful for this every single day. Number 2, reframing. When I've lost my leg, I had a good chance to fall into self-pity. But I did instead think of the luck I had. There was a big probability of being dead. I could have lost my arm. I could sit in a wheelchair, being paralyzed. I could have injured my brain. There were so many options of having a much worse outcome than I had. So if someone would give me the chance to choose something I could give away, it probably would be a leg. It might sound sarcastic, but that's the way I think. So whenever something happens to you, and I know it's difficult in the beginning, and fall into self-pity for a while and allow grief, that's all good. But it will help you when you start reframing it. Think of maybe the luck you had, or what could have been a worse outcome, or think of a door is closing, but a new one is opening. Think of maybe a tiny glimpse of a positive thing within the fate that happened to you. And think of the growth. Every challenge is a chance to grow. My hack number 3 is perspective. I've lost my leg when I was 19, but when I was around 24 as a medical student, I had the chance to travel to Africa and work there in a hospital. And I can tell you, when you lose your leg in Africa, you will crawl the rest of your life. Or if you're lucky, you have a tiny board with 4 tiny wheels and you crawl on this through the streets. Or maybe you have 2 sticks to walk on. They don't have carbonic, super light, prosthetic legs like I do. And I not have 1, I have 2. So my perspective in this case then is, I'm lucky. I'm living in Germany or now in Switzerland. I get a top-notch technical prosthetic leg covered by the insurance. And to make sure I can walk every day, I have a second leg to make sports and as a backup and all these sorts of things. That's luck, isn't it? So whenever you go through struggles, challenges, or stroke of fate hits in, try to find a new perspective. What else could have happened if this incident happened in a different time, in a different context, in a different location, at a different age? And maybe you find a new perspective which helps you to overcome this challenge, struggle, or stroke of fate. Number 4 is a hack which helped me, for example, when my company was struggling and we were at the edge of really serious problems. And I remember I was sitting in my garden and thought, what would be the worst outcome? Think this story to the end at the worst outcome. And I went through this scenario of getting bankrupt, losing it all, losing my house, losing everything, at least materially. I still have my health, I still have my personality. And I realized that I would continue living and I would find a new job as a doctor in my case, and I could make a living, not at the extent it was before, and I might not get back to that level as an entrepreneur, but at least I could have made a living. I could live in a house. I would have food. I would have had my friends. I would have had my dogs and everything. So that helped me to overcome this time, thinking of the worst outcome, playing it through, go through it visually, imagine it, and you will find out in most cases it's not the end of life. And my hack number 5 is for the 90% of challenges and struggles we have on a daily basis. All this bullshitting, the guy who's shouting at us, the boss who's mean to us, the friend who annoys you, all these tiny things. Think of how important they are. Have you been thinking of them the day after? Well, okay, in some cases, yes. But have they been of any importance in 2 weeks' time? No? Then they're not important today. Then they're not worth it thinking of it or destroying your day or destroying your mood. Most of our daily challenges and struggles are not worth putting the energy in. And that's my hack. I always ask myself or question myself, is this problem really so important? And my number one question, will this problem matter in 2 weeks' time? If no, then it's not worth bothering about it today. Let's go through it again. 95% of all our daily struggles are not important because they don't matter tomorrow and they don't matter in 2 weeks' time. So why should they matter today? These are my 5 resilient hacks. So let's make a short exercise. Think and reflect on the last week. Was there any challenge or struggle that's bothering you today? Let's go into the days. What happened on Monday? Was there anything? Was there a friend annoying you? Was the boss mean to you? Have you been in a bad mood for any reason? No? What was on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday? Was there anything which is bothering you today? Nothing? Okay, great. And if anything is bothering you today, what was it? What happened last week which is still bothering you today? Go into that situation. What was it? And think of it. Think of it again and think, is it really important? And is it important today in a week? Will you think of it in a week? No? Then why do it today? Why is it bothering you today? So let's sum it up. 95% of all problems, struggles, challenges are not really relevant. They shouldn't bother you today and in 2 weeks. They're just not important. Life will continue. Life won't change. Forget about them. 5% of your problems, challenges, or strokes of fate might be serious. A majority of them aren't that serious that they should bother you longer than a few weeks. And the few really serious problems or strokes of fate in your life might be overcome or softened up by these few life hacks I gave you, reframing, putting them into perspective, and or thinking of the worst possible outcome. If you like this video, follow me for more, like it, and drop a comment about your life hacks. Have you faced strokes of fate and how have you overcome them? Drop a comment. I'm curious to hear about it.